All right, I'm gonna speak on one more video about this because I feel like some type of lie's been told about this show. Listen, I already spoke on June 26, 2022. I ran into this deer that was off of 78, Highway 78, on the way to work. This was right before 5 a.m. I was on my way to work at the Walmart Distribution Center in Ridgeville, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I pulled up in the parking lot at the Walmart Distribution Center, looked at my bumper, took a picture of my bumper. Then I went back to the scene where I hit the deer at, took a picture of the deer that I had ran into. It was like a smaller deer. I had ran into it and messed up the bumper or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I also remember I gave this girl a jump one time. I forgot her name, but she was a gay girl, and she had a girlfriend named Waukesha. I think her name was Waukesha or Wokesha. I remember having like a small little debate with them in the parking lot because I saw them trying to start their car and it wasn't starting. And then I asked them if they needed a jump. I gave them a jump. And I was telling the girl that she needed to put her cables on her battery first because she the one that had the dead battery. I'm like, yeah, put those on there first. She's like, no. She was like, you got to put yours on first. I'm like, no, you the one with the dead battery. You know what I'm saying? But I gave them a jump. December 1st, 2022, some lady came to the house that was with the mental health crisis mobile people that my dad let in. I was a tenant paying rent. My dad let them in. And she asked me, do you ever hear things? I said, no. Do you ever think about taking your own life? I said, no. Do you ever think about taking somebody else's life? I said, no. She said she was going to go outside for a couple of minutes and talk to her supervisor. She went outside and talked to the judge in St. George, and the judge signed a paper, an order of detention for me to go to the Trident Hospital in Charleston, South Carolina to get my blood drawn. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay. She been out there for an hour. What is she doing? She came back out. She came back to the house with the police. She pulled up to the house with the police originally, but then when she sat out there for an hour, she came back with more police officers, and they said that I had to go to the Trident Hospital. So I went to the Trident Hospital, and before I even went, I was like, I'm driving. They said, you can't drive. I said, what the hell you mean I can't drive? I'm driving. They said, you can't drive. I got to take you. So then they put me in handcuffs, put me in the back of the car, and took me to the hospital, yo. The lady asked me when I got there, did I threaten some gay man at the Walmart Distribution Center on November 28, 2022. I told that lady that on November 28, 2022, I put in protected paid time off at the Walmart Distribution Center, and I went to the Cascade Park and just chilled there. Chilled by the river at this park. You know what I'm saying? Chilled on this bridge, like by the river area, just minding my business. Wasn't nobody else there with me. As a matter of fact, I recorded a video that was 1 hour and 14 minutes long. 1 hour and 14 minutes and 23 seconds long, and I was just sitting there chilling, yo. Chilling. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was around me. Nobody was with me. So some gay man made up a bold-faced lie about me at the Walmart Distribution Center because he wanted to accumulate some type of fame or clout, or he wanted to act like he was some type of damsel in distress, like how some of these other women have been making up lies and shit that was around that distribution center. So he said he wanted to fit in. So everybody sat back and watched some punk ass nigga make up a bold-faced lie about me. They got me taken out of the house in handcuffs. Lied. Just lied. Saw an opportunity and just ran with that shit. So they took me to the hospital. They took my blood. I told them I'm not going to get them my blood. They told me they'll strap me to the chair and call the police if I didn't get them my blood. And then they let me go. That was it. I cleared up that I never threatened some gay man at the Walmart Distribution Center on the 28th of November, 2022. I cleared that up, and they just let me go. And then the next, like a day or two later, I got this dude named Julius to give me a jump. And I'm on the phone with Julius. I told him I stayed on the Quaker Road. You know what I'm saying? He on the way to come around me. I told him, keep driving down the Quaker Road. Once you bust a right around where that nursing home is at, it's a nursing home you go drive past. Then you go bust a right on the Quaker Road. Keep straight. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a big field on the right side, and I'm in a house on the left side. And he kept telling me he didn't know where it was at. Then this girl got on the phone, and she was like, yeah, but I don't know where the fuck is that. And I was like, yo, put your man back on the phone. Because as soon as she jumped on the phone, she started cussing. And in my mind, women don't just talk like that at all. Nobody just talks like that. So in my mind, some of these ladies probably already put some slanderous, fucked up ass, damper on my name that had her feeling like she was comfortable to talk like that. So I was like, man, put your man back on the phone, yo. You wildin'. And then he pulled up. I gave that man $20, and then he gave me a jump. Because that battery all of a sudden had like a dead seal by December, early December of 2022. Then my dad bought like a brand new battery sometime in December 2022. I don't remember the exact date though. He had bought like a brand new battery, something like that. So I think some type of lie got told or something like that. By the time I wasn't even smoking or drinking no more, last time I seen that dude Julius, yo, I think this was the same exact day this one dude that got shot in the ass. Some dude ran up in the Circle K, got shot, came crawling in the bathroom saying somebody just shot him. And I went next door and was talking to the dude, Julius, about it. I was like, dog, somebody just got shot, yo. I told him that. I don't know if this was the same day, but I do remember, like, last time I talked to Julius, he told me he was getting ready to move. And he told me a story about how he got into a car accident or something like that. He was with his girl, and somebody had ran into them, or they had hit somebody. They told me that they was around somewhere else, all the way in the backwoods area, some shit like that, around where like the St. George middle school was at, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Around, because it's like around where my Aunt Grace stayed at, around where, you know, where her husband Arthur Lee. You know what I'm saying? They told me they got into a car accident somewhere around there or some shit like that. Somebody had hit him, or they ran into a pole or some shit. They told me something like that. Only reason I'm talking about this right now is because I'm just making sure that nothing was thrown on my name, some type of lie was thrown on my name. Again, I spoke on this is in like May or June of 2022. This one dude crashed his car across the street from me on the Quaker Road. I was in the house, in the living room, on the living room floor, just saying a prayer, saying, I pray for everybody to be forgiven who did me wrong. As soon as I stood up, I heard rubber burning. Walked outside, saw this dude flipped his car. You know what I'm saying? And he had a dent in the roof of his car. He had a dent in the roof of his car, yo. I said in another video, was the hood in this car. He also had a dent in the hood of his car, but the roof of his car had a dent. That's how I knew, okay, that man must have flipped this car. And he got out the other side of his car on the passenger side. And I remember him saying, man, I flipped my shit. Shit, man, I flipped my shit. He had a homeboy that pulled up, and basically was like, yeah, man, your shit total. And then they called the tow truck, but they didn't call the police. But I remember my cousin Rochelle DJ'd at his graduation party in June 2021. June 19, 2021. She DJ'd at his graduation party. Because as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, that's that one dude that graduated in 2021, yo. And my cousin used to play the DJ. She used to basically go to parties and be the DJ at certain people's parties. And she DJ'd at his party on June 19, 2021. He had like an open house or something like that. I remember this shit. So that young nigga was like 18. This is in like May or June of 2022, I think. This is at nighttime. So I think that people went through my Google photos and made up some fucking lie, tried to make it look like that I probably got into a car accident with that dude or some shit like that. I was in the motherfucking living room, yo. I was in the living room chilling on the Quaker Road where I was supposed to be at. I heard somebody burning rubber. I heard rubber burning across outside. I went outside and saw this new dude flip this car across the street in the field. I jumped in the car that was parked behind the house on the Quaker Road, turned on my high beams and drove in the field to help that dude out. You know what I'm saying? Then he called his mom up on the phone like, this ain't my fault, mom. I hit a deer. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't see a single deer in sight. I ain't see a dead deer nowhere, yo. And I remember talking to my cousin Shamar Pops about it. Shamar Pops stayed right next door to where my Aunt Grace's house was at on the Quaker Road. My Aunt Grace at the time lived with her husband, Arthur Lee. He passed away in 2024, and like I think November 2024. She was living with him, but she still owned that house over there on the Quaker Road. So, my cousin Shamar had a grandma that stayed in the house next door to the house on the Quaker Road. And he was like, he must have been speeding. He must have been speeding. Shamar Pops was like, he must have been speeding. It ain't, because it ain't no curves or nothing. It's a straight line. It's a straight street out here. He must have been speeding. You know what I'm saying? Because it was rocks in the street next to where my cousin Shamar Pops truck was parked at. It was a bunch of rocks and shit over there. Because where he swerved and lost control at, it was a whole bunch of little rocks around that area. So when he swerved and lost control, them rocks went flying and shit in the street. And he said it was a deer. I saw that dude a couple days later at the End Market. That End Market on Jim Beam Boulevard in St. George, South Carolina. Yo, the End Market that's right connected to that subway. He walked in and he had like a smile on his face, like a grin on his face. He ain't say nothing. He just walked in there. And this was around the time when all of the college kids came back from college, because it was a whole bunch of people outside on that day. So if some type of lie got told on me, if somebody hacked in my Google photos and then sparked up some lie, everybody had to have been in on it in order to maintain a lie like that, yo. When it come to me giving that girl a jump, or when it come to me getting a jump from that dude Julius and his girl that one day, or when it come to that dude who got into that car accident, flipped his car across the street in that field in 2022, if any of that is, if anybody's trying to say that I crashed my car against any of them or anything like that, everybody was in on that shit. Because it's easy to prove that wrong. When I hit that deer, June 26, 2022, it was almost 5 o'clock in the morning when I hit that deer. I had to be to work at 5 a.m. at the Walmart distribution center, yo, in Ridgeville, South Carolina. God bless everybody, yo. And there was another time, dog. This is in the beginning of 2024, I think, or late 2023. I hear a loud bang. I'm sitting in the car. I'm sitting on the couch on the Quaker Road. I hear a loud bang. I jump in the car, drive down the Quaker Road. I see some dude crash the old school white car. And he smacked this shit into a tree. And then I still to this day do not understand how that man managed to get that car back up on the road. Because where he hit that, where he crashed his car at, it was a whole bunch of soft ass grass around there, like a puddle of water. It was like a little swamp over there. And I kept looking like, dog, how did you even manage to get your car back on the street? That dude, door came off of his whip, yo. And then his auntie pulled up. He said he needed to leave his car at his auntie house. She stayed in the mobile home that was right before you get to the Wire Road. So she stayed on the Quaker Road, but it was right before you got to the Wire Road. You know what I'm saying? It was a big field out there. I know because I drove down the street the next day and I saw that car parked outside her house. And I think he had an old school white car, and I think it was like white and light blue or something like that. I think it was an old school Lincoln or some shit like that. An all white car. It looked like it was a 1980 Lincoln or something, 1970 Lincoln probably. I don't know. That dude was drunk as hell. I told that dude, man, get rid of your bottle, bro. Get rid of your bottle, dog. And he was from Charleston because he was talking with a Geechee accent. He was like, my shit, man, they crashed my shit, man. Shit, man, they crashed my shit. When I saw a whole bunch of trucks driving down the Quaker Road toward that area, and I saw that his auntie was out there talking to him, I left. I was like, he good now. Drove back to the Quaker Road, went back in the crib, yo. Went back in the house where I was chilling at. And I'm also include that he had asked his auntie to, he asked his auntie if he could drop his car off at her house. You know what I'm saying? Get it towed to her house. She was like, won't you leave it at his house? I was like, ma'am, I don't know him. I do not know this man. I just drove down the street because I heard a bang when I was inside the house. And then I came down the street and saw that he crashed his car. I don't know this guy. So if they made up some lie, yo, I'd be very disappointed because that lady was old enough to be my mom or my grandma, yo. If they made up some lie, all of them is in on it. I don't know if my family and like Shamar, Rennie, and Rochelle, and my Aunt Zenda and my Aunt Grace and Aunt Ethel was in on it, but I know for a fact if some type of lie got sparked up about me on that day, all of them was in on it, yo. And that dude that got shot in the ass, dog. That dude that came crawling into the gas station on that day that got shot in the ass. There's no way somebody threw that on me because you got cameras all over the fucking place. So if they actually try to throw something like that on my name, some dude come crawling into the motherfucking Circle K who got shot in the ass, that means that there are police officers that are helping frame and sabotage me and firefighters that are helping frame and sabotage me. Because the firefighter pulled up like right after that. That dude got shot in the ass. The EMS and the fire truck pulled up. And I'm going to end it on this, yo. Man, I know something ain't right with my family, yo. I beg God for help, guidance, and direction. I beg God to keep my family safe, healthy, and alive because I believe that my mom and my sister's been cloned and stuff like that. And I don't know how did all of this take place, but I said before, what a lot of people did to me was they said, this is what we go do. We go fuck his head up. We go fuck with him psychologically. We go keep hacking his phone and scandalizing his name all day, every day, here in Cali. And then when it get way worse, we gonna let everybody believe that, we gonna let everybody think that it's his family. We gonna tell him directly we don't know what's going on, then we gonna make him believe it's your family that's doing this. So then when I start going off on my family, cussing them out, it was people sitting back like, ha, 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 yeah, we got this nigga. That's the truth, yo. So the reason why nothing ever happened or nobody ever like took action toward anything because there's too many people that's involved in it, yo. And there's somebody out here acting like that they part of the 144,000 Israelites. I don't know, yo. I don't know who it could be. I talked about them sheaves. I talked about the Rasheed Wallace shoes, yo. I don't even know how this just came back to mind. I remember this girl named Melanie one day wrote on this dude named Show McCall shoes, dog. Wrote on his Air Force Ones. He has some all-white Air Force Ones. She wrote, like, she drew a line on that nigga's shoe with a pen. That nigga was talking about fucking her up the whole school year about that, dog. This girl named Melanie back in the year 2005 to 2006 at Southfield Latham High. I remember I was in driver's training class. It was this lady named Miss Grooms. Miss Groom that was our driver's trainer. I think she was from Southwest Detroit, I think. She was real cool, yo. When we went to driver's training for segment 1 in the fall time of 2006, me and my sister, we went to this lady named Miss Groom class. She had a driver's training class called Privileged Driver's Training on 8 Mile. And I remember it was this dude named Kevon, dog. He had wrote on this one dude, Air Force Ones. He had wrote like, he like, hey man, can I write on your shoe? He had drew on this nigga's shoe for some reason. Everybody was like, dog, that was disrespectful. That was fucked up. I don't know why that nigga did that. Kevon went to Southfield Latham High, yo. I don't know why that crazy ass nigga did that shit. I remember it was me. It was this girl in there named Lisa. Lisa also went to Southfield Latham High. Alicia and Lisa was real cool with each other. I used to kind of want to smash her back in the day, but I never did anything with her, yo. They was in it was my sister Alicia. It was a girl named Lisa. They went to Southfield Latham High. It was also this girl in there. She was real cool with this girl named Ashley that had a sister named Amber that went to SRAC. And I think they was either cousins. I think she was Ashley cousin and Amber cousin, or she was their homegirl. And she was messing with this dude that was from 7 Mile. I forgot dog name, but she was messing with him. It was a dude in there named Sheldon. He was from around Brightmoor. He was around like the same area that I used to stay around, like, or he was from around the same area that I used to go hang out with niggas at around Stoper Park. It was this dude that had like a speech impediment. He was the nigga that Kevon had wrote on his shoes one day, yo. Kevon wrote on that nigga's shoes, though. I still remember this shit. This dark-skinned short dude, he had like a speech impediment. It was this girl in there also named, I think her name was Ashley, but her nickname was Milk or something, Miss Milky or something like that. And I remember this dude named Sheldon used to always like be roasting on her, but used to be calling her yogurt or some shit like that. I don't know how it's coming back to mind. Then by the time I was going to summer school in 2007, by like the summertime of 2007, me and my sister went to segment 2 driver's training. Then I got my driver license in like October 2007 or something like that, when I took the road test. I'm not gonna lie to myself, yo. I need to figure out, like I said, I just be praying for my family, yo, because all they pictures look photoshopped, their voicemails look different. People gonna try to say I'm tripping. And the main people that's gonna be trying to say I'm tripping and overthinking shit, they gonna be the main ones that's a part of some type of organization, yo. And some of them could be the police. They'll be like, yeah, he tripping, he got problems, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll be trying to cover up some scandalous stuff that happened. It was a few other people in that driver's training class, but I don't remember their names. It was one girl, it was another girl in there that was from Southwest Detroit also, but I don't remember her name either. She was like caramel skin. I'm just reminiscing now, yo. But this is the type of stuff you think, this is the way, you think when you realize a lot of foul shit has happened around you and people played you for a fool and assaulted your intelligence right in your face because they feel like they justified for the stuff that they done to me because all of the lies that have been told on me in the past, they looking at me like, nigga, you should be happy. So a lot of people is basically just moved in a certain way like, nigga, whatever, shut the fuck up, nigga. Yeah, we did you dirty, nigga. We already know that you did some foul shit to that person or that person. And the main person that's saying that I did something foul is the main person that most likely did something scandalous. So when I was in Cali, it was a bunch of niggas working as a team with each other. And there's no way that people don't know what really happened, yo. They just covering for each other.